Welcome back, true crime enthusiasts. Today, we're diving deep into the sun-soaked, palm tree-lined streets of Miami, a city known for its vibrant culture and beautiful beaches. But beneath this glamorous surface lies a darker side, a collection of chilling mysteries that have baffled investigators for years. We're about to explore 5 of the most perplexing unsolved cases to ever come out of Magic City. These are stories of disappearance, unexplained deaths, and lingering questions that haunt families and detectives to this day. So, grab your detective hats, and let's get started on our journey into the shadows of South Florida. First up, we have the baffling disappearance of Tiffany Sessions. On February 9, 1989, Tiffany, a 20-year-old University of Florida student, went for an afternoon walk near her Gainesville apartment. She told her roommate she'd be back soon, but she never returned. Now, you might be wondering, what's the Miami connection? Tiffany's father, Patrick Sessions, was a prominent real estate developer in South Florida. He immediately launched one of the most extensive and highly publicized searches in Florida's history, plastering his daughter's face on billboards all over the state, especially in the Miami area. The case drew national attention, but despite thousands of tips and countless hours of investigation, Tiffany was never found. Over the years, several serial killers, including the infamous Ted Bundy, were looked at for a possible connection, but nothing concrete ever emerged. Her father's relentless quest for answers turned him into a fierce advocate for missing persons, but the question of what happened to Tiffany on that February afternoon remains a painful open wound for her family and a haunting mystery for the state of Florida. Next, let's turn our attention to the mysterious case of DeJuan Sims. On December 11, 1994, 4-year-old DeJuan went Christmas shopping with his mother, Terracacia Jones, at the Wonderland Mall in Livonia, Michigan. According to his mother, they had a small argument, and she briefly turned her back. When she turned around again, DeJuan was gone. The case immediately sparked a massive search and media frenzy. But here's where the Miami connection comes in, and it's a strange one. Years later, a man from the Miami area came forward, believing he might be the long-lost DeJuan Sims. He had very few memories of his early childhood and couldn't explain how he ended up in South Florida. DNA tests were conducted with high hopes of finally solving this decades-old mystery. The community held its breath, waiting for a miraculous reunion. But tragically, the results came back negative. The man was not DeJuan. This flicker of hope was extinguished, leaving everyone back at square one. DeJuan's fate remains unknown, and his case is a heartbreaking reminder of how a child can vanish in the blink of an eye, leaving a void that time can never fill. Our third case is the tragic story of the Soda children, a mystery that stretches all the way from West Virginia to Florida. On Christmas Eve, 1945, the Soda family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia, burned to the ground. George and Jenny Soda escaped with 4 of their 10 children, but 5 were believed to have perished in the blaze. However, no remains were ever found in the ashes of the house. The parents always maintained that their children were not in the fire, believing they were kidnapped. They suspected arson, possibly connected to George's outspoken criticism of the local government. Over the years, the Sodas received several strange tips. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence they ever received was a photograph mailed to them in 1967. The postmark was from Kentucky, and the photo showed a young man in his 20s who bore a striking resemblance to their son Louis, who would have been about that age. On the back of the photo was a cryptic message. The family hired a private investigator who traced leads down to the Miami area, believing the person in the photo might be living there under a new identity. But the trail went cold. The Soda parents passed away without ever knowing what happened to their 5 children, leaving behind one of America's most enduring and heartbreaking mysteries. Coming in at number 4 is the unsettling death of Charles C. Morgan. In March 1977, Morgan, a Tucson, Arizona escrow agent, vanished. He reappeared 3 days later, disheveled and traumatized, claiming he had been kidnapped and tortured. He spoke of secret work he was doing for a shadowy government agency and showed his family a $2 bill with cryptic notes and a Spanish map drawn on it. Fearing for his life, he wore a bulletproof vest and was constantly armed. Then, he disappeared again. 3 months later, his body was found near his car in a remote desert area. He had been shot in the back of the head. A $2 bill was found pinned to his underwear. Authorities initially ruled his death a suicide, a conclusion his family fiercely rejected. The Miami connection enters through the investigation into his business dealings. It was discovered that Morgan was allegedly involved in laundering money for organized crime syndicates, some of which had deep roots in operations in Miami. The theory is that Morgan got in over his head, knew too much, and was silenced. The cryptic notes, the claims of secret agencies, and the ties to Miami's underworld create a web of intrigue that feels like something straight out of a spy novel. To this day, the true circumstances surrounding Charles Morgan's death remain a subject of intense debate and speculation. Finally, we arrive at our 5th and perhaps most notorious Miami mystery, the disappearance of Jimmy Hoffa. The former president of the Teamsters Union was one of the most powerful and controversial figures in American labor history. On July 30, 1975, Hoffa went to meet with 2 mob figures at a restaurant in suburban Detroit and was never seen again. He was declared legally dead in 1982. For decades, the search for his body has become a part of American folklore. The FBI has chased down hundreds of leads, digging up farms, backyards, and even underneath a swimming pool. The Miami connection is central to the entire story. Hoffa had deep and complex ties to the mafia, particularly the powerful organized crime families that operated out of South Florida. Many of the key players in his disappearance had strong connections to Miami. Theories suggest that Hoffa was trying to regain power in the Union, a move that threatened the mob's control over the Teamsters' vast pension fund, which they used to finance casinos in Las Vegas and other ventures. Over the years, numerous informants have claimed Hoffa's body was flown to Florida, possibly buried in the Everglades or even encased in the concrete of a construction project. Despite countless theories and deathbed confessions, no trace of Jimmy Hoffa has ever been found. His disappearance remains the ultimate symbol of the mob's power and secrecy, a ghost that still haunts both Detroit and the sunny shores of Miami. And there you have it, 5 haunting cases with ties to Miami that continue to puzzle and captivate us. From missing children to powerful figures erased from existence. These stories remind us that sometimes the truth can be more elusive than fiction. What do you think happened in these cases? Do you have a theory we haven't covered? Let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your thoughts and insights. And if you found this journey into the unknown as fascinating as we did, do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.